Well, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump's lead keeps growing in terms of the betting. Take a look at Polymarket here. I thought maybe we would see a correction. Maybe it would get closer. It's basically a 14-point lead right now for Donald Trump, around 57 to 43%. And Trump, after he took the lead back about a week and a half ago, we saw it balloon up about a week ago, and it has only gotten worse for Kamala Harris. And now we're seeing the cascade effect with the popular vote now possibly in play. Harris is down about 7 points in terms of that. She was around 72% chance. Now she's at like 66% chance to win the popular vote against Trump the last time I checked. So now the popular vote might be around 60-40. We're getting more polls from neutral Democrat pollsters, Republican pollsters, all of them saying the race is basically 50-50 in terms of the popular vote, which would lend to the idea that Donald Trump is the favorite in the overall electoral college, because if he's, even if he loses by one, he loses by two, he's still looking very, very good to win the electoral college, win all of the swing states. Obviously, they're going to be very close, and we've got some interesting numbers out of Detroit when it comes to the absentee ballots that have been returned there. It's a suspiciously high number, but still, these numbers look really, really good for Trump. I mean, it is surprising to me that's around 57 to 43 at this point, and we're seeing you can see Trump, this is Trump's biggest lead, because last week it was his biggest lead in terms of the betting when Kamala had entered the race. Kamala, she was up by like 9 points at one point. She was up by 7. She was up by 4. And now Trump is up by about 14 overall in terms of the betting. And a lot of this has to do with recent polling. We've got another poll from a Republican and Democrat group coming together. You can see the two-way Donald Trump actually up in just terms of the general popular vote. You do also have Donald Trump and Kamala tied when you bring in RFK and Stein should help Trump in those Rust Belt states. You also have Mike Rogers down by 3. There's some interesting Senate races. We're seeing the Rust Belt Senate races especially get closer. And those 3 races, originally, everyone thought the Democrats were going to win all 3 of them. Now, the Republicans might be able to steal a seat or 2 in the Rust Belt, especially if Trump performs very well. Let's say he wins Michigan by 3. Let's say he wins Pennsylvania by 2.5 to 3. There's chances there for the Republican Senate candidates to potentially steal another seat and possibly get the Republicans to around 53 or maybe 54 seats, because I think they're guaranteed to get 52 with Montana, with Ohio. Florida is going to be Republican. Texas, Ted Cruz is not losing that. I don't think Kari Lake is going to win, but there's still a slight possibility. It's like 80-20 odds right now. But if Trump wins Arizona by like 4, there's a big possibility that Kari Lake could get carried over to potentially win it by around 1 point. You also do have Fox News changing Michigan, because this was very surprising. I was looking at Fox News's updated thing where it was like some article or something. I did a review on it during a video. And the one swing state they had lean, because all the other swing states, all the other main 6 swing states, it was just a toss-up. But they had Michigan as a lean or tilt Democrat, which was surprising to me. And now, at this point, it would be a lean for Trump, or at worst case scenario, it'd be a toss-up. You look at the aggregate polls, Donald Trump is leading Michigan right now by a point, which is pretty remarkable considering where we were about a month ago. The narrative was that Kamala Harris was going to win Michigan. That was the one state in the Rust Belt she was doing very good on, and she was separating herself. You can see the new all-time high for Donald Trump in Polymarket, up to around 56-57%, 12, 13-point lead, 14-point lead there. Nate Silver having to do an adjustment. Remember Nate Silver when he had Harris with like a 65 or 63% chance to win? It's come all the way down. It's basically 50-50 at this point. And there's really you look at any of the polling data based on weighing it for 2020 and 2016 errors, there's no way Kamala Harris should be the favorite. She's got no business being the favorite. Even if you didn't weigh for errors, if you just took the polls as they were, I think Trump probably is sitting at around a 55 to a 60% chance to win at this point, maybe even higher. Of course, this is when they weight these polls, they input certain polls. They don't put in other polls. A lot of Republican polls they won't put in here, so that's why Harris might have a slight lead, but it's basically 50-50. People were freaking out. Well, now Harris has like a 65-70% chance. I said it ebbs and flows, and now it's flowed back in Trump's direction to around a 50-50 chance in terms of that. We've got this Joe Biden corn maze, and it's just one single like deflated corn stalk. That's yeah, I wonder if he'll be able to solve that. That was funny. We also do have, so another thing with this Gallup poll, apparently with the Gallup poll, they do it by average. So when you average it out, it's like a +1 Republican. That's what it is. Because you look at this and it says, well, the recent stuff says Democrats lead by 4 in terms of just the generic party ID, but it's based off of an average. So they do it based off an average, and apparently the average is still Republicans +1. Now, still, that's not a great number, Democrat +4, but it's a very suspect poll the way they did it, because, I mean, how does it change by 7 points within the span of half a month? That makes no sense. So I think they're going to be releasing probably a new one, if this is the way they're structuring it, probably within the next few days. And then they'll do a final one after that. But the average, the overall average in the Gallup, I believe that's how they go by, and it's Republican +1. So obviously, if you go into election at Republican +1, the way Gallup has been, how accurate they've been, Donald Trump is very, 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 very likely to win the election. If he wins the popular vote at all, he's winning. Even if he loses the popular vote by 1 or 2, he's very likely winning anyways. And we know Gallup has been within a point in terms of party ID relative to popular vote since like the past 5 or 6 elections. They've been very accurate. So if you average it all out, and again, the way they've done this, you can see their first polling sample was the 3rd through the 15th. Their second polling sample was the 16th through the 28th. So you would think their next polling sample is going to be early October, like September 30th through October 15th, which is today, and then they would release that soon. And then their final sample would be the end of October, and then maybe through like November 2nd, something like that, and then they'll release the final number. And I think they go by average. So these are still good numbers for Republicans. I mean, this shift +4, -5 in the span of half a month doesn't make any sense, but I'm just saying it's better than, we originally thought when it comes to the Gallup poll there. But overall, guys, I'll say, I mean, you look at pretty much any of these states, you look at Poly Market, things continue to look really, really good. And you can even go to the swing states and take a look and see pretty much all the swing states. Donald Trump now up 7 in Michigan. He's up 10 in Pennsylvania. He's up 4 in Wisconsin. He is leading every swing state, I think. He's up by like over 20 in North Carolina. He's up by over 20 in Arizona. He's basically tied in Nevada, and he's up significantly in Georgia. So Donald Trump right now is really, really trending at this point. And he does have a 27% chance to win every swing state. I think even these odds have increased significantly recently. These odds have increased by basically twofold. I mean, they've gone up 100% from 14% to almost 28%. So he is really looking good according to the betting markets. And it's not like this is just Republican. I mean, this is Poly Market had Kamala Harris 10 points ahead of Trump multiple times during this election cycle. So the idea that you would say this is Republican degens, but why would the degens bet on Kamala? Why would she be up by 10 or 11 points? Why would she vault up so high during the debate with Trump if it's just a bunch of Republicans betting on Poly Market? It makes no sense. I think people they understand look at all the big time polls that are now reporting basically 50-50 pure popular vote polls. That is a terrible, terrible situation for Kamala Harris if that ends up happening. I mean, because think about it, you're also factoring in potentially an error against Trump. So if they've got it 50-50, Trump might win the popular vote, and obviously he would win the presidency very easily if that ended up happening. So even if they error against Trump, let's say they've got it tied and Kamala ends up winning the popular vote by 1.5 points, it's still likely a Trump victory in the Electoral College. So it's everything is against her at this point. And now you're seeing everything because she's coming out of the woodwork. There's rumors she might want to go on Joe Rogan. What an awkward mess that would be, but I'd love to see it. Now she's doing Fox News for an interview when she said, I don't need Fox News. They denied Fox News a debate because she didn't want to go on a Republican network. Now she's doing an interview with Fox News one-on-one. This is because her numbers are terrible and she's worried, and you're seeing it reflect in the betting. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.